Hello, how are you? My name is Donna Lovette, and I am so excited to talk to you about this particular subject. I am from an organization that's called From Destiny to Dynasty. And you know what? Some people don't really understand the difference between what is a legacy and what is a dynasty, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, when you look up the word legacy in the dictionary, here's what you would hear, and I'm going to read it. It says it's the amount of money or stock or property that is left in someone's will. It's something that is passed down from one generation to the next. That's what's a definition of legacy. And I've heard so many people talk about legacy differently. So let me tell you about some of the things that I've heard over the years. I've heard that we have a legacy of graduating from Yale University or becoming a part of this sorority or fraternity, that is what this family considers a legacy. I've heard people say that our name has a certain reputation to it, and you can't mess it up because that is our legacy. I have seen people talk about legacy in the terms of their profession, that we are a profession of entrepreneurs, or we're a profession of doctors or people in the medical field. You know, that is our legacy. That's kind of what we do. I've seen people talk about legacy in terms of passing a business down from one generation to the next. There are certain characteristics, as people will say, that, you know, we are a hardworking family. We are a family of integrity. We are a family who never gives up. That's who we are. And that's the legacy that we will pass on from generation to the next generation. So that's the kind, I mean, I've heard a variety of definitions of legacy. But when you talk about dynasty, that has a slightly different connotation to it. And so I want you to understand what I mean when I talk about helping you to create a dynasty. So let me start by reading the definition of a dynasty and then sharing with you some things that have inspired me over the years. That a dynasty is a succession of people, got hair in my face, a succession of people from the same family that have a prominent role in a particular business or politics or some field. It's a powerful family that maintains that position of influence for a long period of time. See how that's a little different slant to it than a legacy? So the first person, when I started looking into a dynasty, the Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford was the first person that I began to look at. And we know his story, that he was someone who created the Model T, I think in the 30s, but he created this car that was a car for the average person, and became very rich as a result of it. So his breakthrough in terms of accomplishing what he saw as a destiny piece, a dynasty, a destiny piece, a purpose. When he accomplished that purpose, he started a business that hired thousands and thousands of people over the years. His family worked, some family members worked for the company. I think that even in this day and age, this is 2021, that there are members of the family who's still running the business. But not only did his breakthrough bless him and other families who could work for the company, it helped his family members to move to a whole different level of prosperity and blessing. And they each family member kind of carved out their own sphere of influence. There's some family members that are into the arts. When you go on and look for foundations, there are a lot of Ford foundations under different family names, and they support all kind of causes around the country, around the world. And one of a program that I worked for that worked with dropout preventions, we received our funding from the Ford Foundation. So the breakthrough of one person influenced that family to live at a whole different level of experience, whole different level of prosperity, whole different level of influence. Can you see that? Now, you might think that this is only possible for someone like a Rockefeller or a Ford Foundation, but no, the average person can get to that place too. And we just didn't know the strategy, the path, of being able to accomplish that until now. Now, some people have asked me, because they've heard of my Legacy 10. I have a group of people that I work with. We meet on a weekly basis, and we call ourselves Legacy 10. And they ask, where did the 10 generation come from? Well, you know what? The first time I heard of this, I heard of a story about China, that in China, and I wonder if they continue to do that now, that what they did at one point was to set up 100-year, 1,000-year purpose and destiny, 1,000-year plan for a family. And so if you were born in year, 300, you would find out what your family legacy, your family inheritance, your family dynasty, what is the purpose for your family? What is it that your family is supposed to accomplish? You would find that, and then you would take the baton and you would continue it with the goal of passing that baton on to your kids. And you would do that until, 1,000 years. I just thought that was impressive. And I wondered, well, how can we do that in the United States? How can we, as Christians, be able to do that? And then I discovered that there were Bible scriptures that talked about not only having an inheritance, blessings that go 1,000 years, it talked about 1,000 generations. So when you look at Deuteronomy 7:9, Psalms 105:8, it talks about covenant promises of God that he will make to a people that will last 1,000 generations. Now, isn't that amazing? So one person can set things in motion. One person can make a decision to pursue a purpose and a destiny, and their breakthrough can set their family up for 1,000 generational years of blessing. Isn't that amazing? And I know that when you look through Bible scriptures, that God will honor the prayers of his people. So all you needed was to discover one praying grandmother, one praying mother, father, aunt, who God made promises to. And then those promises could continue for 1,000 generations. Isn't that amazing? So what I attempt to do is to show people how to discover that. It was exciting to discover that for my family, and I want to help you to discover it for yours. This is so in tune with my purpose and destiny. One of my purpose scriptures is Isaiah 58:12. And what I know that I am called to do, part of what I'm called to do is to help to restore what's been lost over the years, to help individuals and families restore those promises that God wanted to make for their family. That's the reason I wrote a book that's called Taking Back Stolen Goods. In other words, going back and finding out the promises that God made decades ago, that you can now walk in once you know about it. So my part of my purpose and destiny is to help people to restore that, to help them to rebuild the foundation of their family based on the promises that God has made for your family, or to help you to start a whole new family tree, to start a whole new level of promises that can go on from you and 1,000 years beyond that. Wouldn't that be amazing? And I know that part of when you read that Bible scripture is also to help you to restore the path, restore the way. How is it that you can actually do this? If you don't have a strategy in place, if you don't have a structure in place to make this happen, it won't. And which is part of the reason why it hasn't. But I have discovered with some help of some impressive people in my world to help you to discover a path, a strategy, a structure that when you put that in place, then 1,000 generations from you will be blessed by what you've done. I want you to have more than a legacy. I want you to walk in a dynasty. Do you agree with that? Does that intrigue you? Then I hope that you continue to explore different things on my website, and that you will listen as I post additional information from time to time on how to pursue that. So if you like what you hear today, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm asking for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like it, and give me your comments. I want to know what you think. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on my website, I want you to share with me your thoughts. I want to know so we can have some dialogue about this. So I'm excited about it. I am wanting to know your thoughts, and I'm sure that we'll have more conversations about creating a dynasty in the days, weeks, months to come. Until the next time we connect, guys, be tremendously blessed, and your family too. Until next time, be blessed.